with Counterpunch Boxing News. This is Counterpunch Late Night, as some of you guys like bars. This is the Counterpunch on the no gloves loss between Daniel Dubois and Alexander Usyk. Like I promised you guys, I will be going live and looking at Fight Study live to discuss the do's and don'ts, the keys of victory, and everything else that applies to these two guys that happen to be champions, which Alexander Usyk is the WBA, the WBC, and the and the WBO champion, whereas Daniel Dubois is the IBF champion. And they're coming together to fight once again, which we've already seen back in 2023. So we will see how these guys have changed, and have Daniel actually improved, and has Alexander Usyk slowed down. Okay, so shout out to this. It's the Sun exclusive, but we have Daniel Dubois and Alexander Usyk. Okay, and they are actually on No Gloves Lost, and they ask questions about each other, the exclamation of the push and all this. So I wanted to watch it live with you guys. Okay, so I'm going to start the No Gloves Loss. Daniel and Alexander, are you guys ready? Okay, cool. Let's go.
Okay. Body's hot.
Yeah.
Bro, you got this body's hot.
Take what's mine, those belts. Undisputed.
So, No Gloves is lost. Daniel Dubois versus Alexander Usyk. Let me filter the chat here. There we go.
Really does. All four heavyweight world titles here, and two magnificent men. Daniel, take me back to the last time you was at Wembley before this morning. How did that feel, doing what you did with Anthony Joshua?
Felt great. For all the dreams, everything falling into place. Yeah, perfect. Hard work pays off.
Alex, when he did that and got that IBF belt, did you know he was the one next?
Yeah, I'm a little bit afraid when I'm going to fight with Parker. A little bit, but I say thank you, Daniel. You saved. Yeah, saved my belt. Thank you so much.
Okay, let me stop right there. All right. Do you forgive Diddy for what he did? Man, get on with that. Get on with that. Let's cut that out. Yep. Let's go ahead and go ahead and take you on out of here, buddy. But anyway, I wanted to pause right there because Alexander Usyk, did say, hey, I was nervous a little bit because of Parker. I did a whole video on it. Okay. You know what I mean? So, dude, this is what the hell? I am convinced that like this shit's under attack. Brandon Lee, counterpunch to you. What does your channel consist of? Boxing. Yo, Kurt, it's 5 a.m. Tony Lyons, top of the morning to you. Top of the morning. And I'm going live at 11 a.m. my time. So, what's that, 5? Yeah. Actually, it's around the same time. So, yeah. So 12 hours from now, I will be going live again. So definitely. Brandon Luca, counterpunch to you. Listen, Alexander Usyk pretty much was relieved because he thought that Joseph Parker would beat Danny Dubois. His team thought that he would beat Danny Dubois. It was 52% to 48%. That is the ratio. That is how much they gave, how much they believed in Joseph Parker versus how scared they were of Danny Dubois losing. You know what I mean? So, but it makes you wonder, why would it matter? Why wouldn't Alexander Usyk care to fight any of those guys? And it does make you wonder. 5 a.m. and I've just got up to get my boys' stuff ready for school. I deleted the other message because I sent it before I finished. No worries, man. No worries. Get get the kids to school because I mean I know it's early, but yeah, Usyk was afraid that Dubois would lose. And it sucks for Joseph Parker because Joseph Parker, I think he might have been the right size, which I didn't care for that size, but the way he hit Bacali and caught Bacali and got Bacali's big ass out of there, it made you think like, well, you know what, man, maybe, Parker, that would have been the night that shit would have went all bad for Daniel Dubois. You know, let's go see Usyk. He'll whoop Triple D. Trust me. So yeah, he was nervous. But my thing is, why not just accept the overall winner of that fight? You know what I mean? He was like, oh well, I'm glad. And so it's to me. It seems like to me that Alexander Usyk feels more comfortable fighting Joseph Parker. I mean Daniel Dubois than Joseph Parker. That's why you said I was scared a little bit. What difference does it make? You gave Daniel your belt, right? Or you gave it back to the IBF. Daniel beat Hrgovic. So it was either Hrgovic or Daniel. So you're glad it's Daniel because you beat Daniel already? Then you were afraid a little bit? Listen to what he said. Listen to what he said.
In the fight with...
Watch this. Listen.
Hard work pays off.
Alex, that when he did that and got that IBF belt, did you know he was the one next?
Yeah, I'm a little bit afraid when I'm in the fight with Parker. A little bit, but I say thank you, Daniel. You сохранил. Yeah, saved my belt. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Daniel. You saved my belt. Thank you so much. He even had to ask the translator, like, how do you say saved my belt? Because that's how he saved it. You know what I mean? So yeah, like I did a whole video on this like a few weeks ago. When I first heard that part, I was like, oh, wait a minute. You know what I mean? He was a little bit afraid. What the hell? It would seem like, hey, well, whoever won, I would have to fight. You see what I mean? So yeah, it does sound like that. Tony Lyons, Parker, in my opinion, is being treated like he was Parker, in my opinion, is being treated dirty by Frank. Kind of sounds like Usyk was happy not to fight Parker. That's what it sounds like to me, man. I'm just gonna keep it a buck because I mean, thank you, Daniel, for saving my belt. So what difference would it make who has the belt? What difference would it make? Unless Alexander Usyk intended on Daniel Dubois to get that belt. Because remember this, he let that belt go after that fight was over. So he knew the outcome. He knew that Daniel Dubois beat Hrgovic. That's when he decided to drop the belt. Think about it. So if he decided to drop the belt when Daniel already beat Hrgovic, he expected to fight Daniel, not anybody else. That's why he was like, oh, shit, I don't really want to fight Parker. Ooh. Usyk should fight Diddy next. Come on, bro. I don't want to hear another Diddy. I don't want to hear Diddy at all. Usyk should, look, I don't want to hear none of that shit. It's too late at night for that. Not like all that shit. I don't care what's going on with him. I don't want to hear it. All right. But let's continue.
When you boxed in Poland, you beat him and he was disappointed and you pulled him close. You spoke to him. Do you remember what you said?
Yeah, of course. I remember all my professional fight.
But do you remember what you told him after?
Yeah. I say, hey, please don't stop because the fight, Daniel, if I win, I go to rest. I say no, training, continue training, basically.
Did that mean much to you when he did that?
Yeah, and yeah, I know something to say to him after I beat him as well.
Yeah, well, let me pause it there. It's crazy that Danny Dubois didn't really even give him like respect for giving him a pep talk after he beat him and made him quit. Well, I got something to tell him now. I mean, I get the counter, but I don't think that that was the time for that. I think that Daniel's trying to be this bad guy. He's trying to be the bad guy in the show. You know what I mean? You know how you have good cop, bad cop. Now he's he's the bad guy. Say hello to the bad guy. Jolo, say hello to the bad guy. The devil you know is better than the devil you don't. Tony Lyons, you're absolutely right. Shot on Christmas. I think Usyk wants payback for the low blow controversy. And Daniel Dubois generally lack of respect and common sense. Maybe Usyk wants to fight Triple D badly to prove he's levels above him. I mean, he's already done that. He's already done that. Like, here's my thing. If that is an issue with Team Dubois, with Team Usyk, that meant they themselves have doubt about what happened in that fight. Period. Maybe Usyk wants to, okay. All right. Look, Usyk also acted like Joe Joyce was truly the juggernaut after he beat Parker, but later said Joe Joyce was the easiest fight of all British heavyweights. Usyk also said he has 2 more fights. So, 2 more fights means this fight and then another fight. I think people are misunderstanding that. I wish it was 2 more fights after this fight, but I hope I'm wrong, people. Because I want him to fight more. I want him to fight Caballero. I want him to fight Bakali. I want him to fight Parker. So Parker, then Caballero. If he fights Parker, then Caballero. Those are 2 fresh fights that we've never seen. And that's what I want. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see him fight fucking Fury again. I don't want to see him fight Joshua again. I don't want to see fights I've already saw. I'm up to here with those type of fights. Those type of fights, yeah, they're big money fights because Tyson Fury's a money guy. Joshua's a money guy. But you got to ask yourself this question. How much money do you really need? If you got $80 million in the bank, how much money do you really need? Just being a normal, regular old bloke that don't like to party, that don't have a crazy, wild nightlife, that you don't have none of that shit. So what do you need that money for? You see what I mean? Like, at what point of amount of money do you need to stay happy? So I don't even think the whole incentive would be to have a money fight unless you're doing it for the people that you work with, meaning your promoters, meaning your managers, because they all get a cut. Unless you're just, hey, well, I'll fight because I know you guys want a big money fight so everybody could get paid. I understand that, but no, I don't care to see another Joshua fight nor another Fury fight. Let them fight each other. He'll fight Wilder because he never fought Wilder. Yeah, AJ is my guy, but I do want to see Usyk fight others. I don't think AJ even wants to fight Usyk again and would rather fight others. And he shouldn't. He shouldn't want to fight him again. He's fought him twice. That's it. Fury deserves to be shunned for a while. Caballero looks like such a nice, respectful guy, but he's literally a Terminator with zero mercy in the ring. Shot on Christmas. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Usyk has to fight Caballero and Parker because they're mandatory. So, that's if he keeps fighting. Because, see, if he fights Dubois, that's one fight. And then another fight. So, that other fight would be who? See, if they make that fight Tyson Fury on a money fight, that meant that Alexander Usyk has never or has not defended his mandatories since when? This is a unification, so this don't count. All right? Tyson Fury didn't count. That was just a contractual agreement. So that meant in 4 fucking fights, think about it. He became undisputed. He dropped the IBF belt, right? But he was still the heavyweight unified champion. He fights Tyson Fury again. So those are 2 fights right there. Now he's fighting Danny Dubois, which is another unification to get the belt back. Okay. So that's 3 fights that he has not fought mandatories. And so if he fights Tyson Fury again, that would be 4 fights overall that he hasn't fought a mandatory. If he doesn't do that, if he doesn't have though any mandatories, he doesn't have to fight any of them. If he fights Tyson Fury, because that second fight too, which would be his last fight. Conrad Francis in the building. Counterpunch to you, member in the building. And that's when Usyk will lose a little respect. Absolutely, he should. Because one thing I respected about AJ, that's how he lost the belt in the first fucking place. He fought his mandatories. He fought Pulev. He fought Povetkin. He fought Alexander Usyk. Okay? He fought those dudes. And actually, he ended up fighting, what's the dude, the big Frenchman? The African guy that Macaulay beat up. I forget his name right now, but he fought him. So yeah, for him just fighting Tyson Fury, what did Tyson do to deserve a shot at all? What did he do? What did he do? He didn't do anything. He did not do anything at all. I'm sorry, nothing Tyson Fury did gives him a shot at the title. Nothing. Hello, I'm Tyson Fury. That's it. Monday is the deadline. Right? That's it. That's all he did. Red Exfos. Or Zephos. Red Zephos. Hello from Somali. Okay. Somali in the building. Carlos Takam. Absolutely, Ed Ellerby. Appreciate you. Fury came back and jumped the queue and got Wilder. He did the same shit. And I'm tired of Tyson. I'm tired of Tyson being able to come into the sport and do whatever the fuck he wants to do. I'm sick of that. I'm sick of that happening. If that was the whole point, the whole justice of having a league in the first place, but the league is not to replace the sanctioning bodies. So it really doesn't mean anything. You're just making a whole nother league of people that may or may not be UFC fighters or current or former UFC fighters. Because more than likely, if I'm a UFC guy and I know I can box and become a champion and make $650,000 versus that $20,000-$30,000 I've been making, you sure as shit I'm going to put on some gloves and put some shoes on my feet and get in the ring, not the cage. I mean, that's just common sense, right? Takam was French, right? I said French, right? He brings a lot of monies, that's why. I mean, that's fine, but at the same time, he doesn't deserve anything. He got beat twice, okay? He lost his WBC belt, then he lost it again. So you're twice removed a champion. So I don't understand why Tyson can bring his ass back in the sport of boxing and say, here I am, I'm Tyson, hear me roar. Same here. He should have to earn his way up, not skip the line. Yeah. Well, I did say French, the French guy, the African guy. I think he's African too, though, I think. But I don't know. Whatever. If Usyk fights Alex Pereira, I'm going to start hating on him. You should. If Alexander Usyk fights, if he fights Alex, the UFC guy, yeah, I'm going to give him so much shit. I'm going to be, I am very feel on his face. Salute, Kurt. I was waiting for you to go live again, and it just happened to be now tonight. Let's go. Capital 2 times in the building. Let's continue, okay? But seriously, that shit. No, I don't approve of it. I don't approve of just Tyson coming back. You know what I mean? And I'm not, and will never be one of those guys. I repeat, I am not, and will never be one of those guys that feels that a fighter has done enough to take an easy fight. No. Bullshit. You can't take an easy fight, especially when there's killers biting at your heels. No way in hell are we going to see someone that, oh, let me take an easy fight. That's why Floyd. That's why I lost respect from Floyd at the very end, because he could have went out fighting Lara. He could have went out fighting Keith Thurman. He could have went out fighting a lot of people. He could have had another Manny Pacquiao rematch for more money. But he wanted to be a dickhead because he secretly hated Manny for people loving Manny when they didn't love him. That's the truth about Mayweather. Oh, Mayweather. Okay, so Usyk does the same shit. What's the difference? Oh, I'm gonna take an easy fight. Why? Why are you taking an easy fight when you could have fought Cabello, the WBC interim champion? Joseph Parker, the WBO interim champion. The number ones, the interims. They pay their money just like everybody else. So why can't you fight them? Tell me. So we'll all know. Oh, I want to fight Tyson Fury for $100 million. Okay, well, dude, do that shit after you defend your mandatories. How about that? Do that after you. What's wrong with that? Do that after you defend your mandatories. Hello, everyone. Just here learning. David Johnson. Learn on, brother, because I got a lot to teach. Counterpunch to you. Welcome. Specifically, if he has a good as we all say he is. If he's good as he says he is, and he ain't skipped like Krasuk and Klimas and those cats, the promoter and the manager, they're stating, oh, well, he hasn't missed a step. He's still fresh. Okay, he's 38 years old. He's 38 years old, and you say he's not missed a step, but you don't want him to fight his mandatories. I find something wrong with that. I find something very wrong with that, because you're not saying, or you're not proving to us that he hasn't missed a step. Normally when people start missing steps, people started working smarter instead of harder. How do you work smarter? You fight the people that you've already fought. Daniel Dubois, Tyson Fury. You've already fought them. The devil you know is better than one you don't, right? So we all know that. Okay, so let's not let that Usyk. And I'm not trying to dog Usyk, because I still think he's a good dude. But if he starts getting light like Floyd did, he gets the same treatment as Floyd. There ain't nothing different. There's no respecter of person in boxing. You love the sport, not the people, not the fighters, because every man or fighter can make a mistake and fall. Okay? You just got to follow the rules and what's right. And we all know what's right. It's already in us. But if you are followers of the fighters, you're going to find a way or a reason to side with that fighter, which is wrong, all wrong, which you should never do. Who should Usyk fight? Who should Usyk fight next? Parker. Yes, Parker is the next in queue. Then Cabello. Okay, that's how it should go. Then he fights Tyson Fury, then makes a lot of money. Let Tyson Fury fight Anthony Joshua in December, and after that, he fights whoever. How about that? But fight your mandatories. This is not a mandatory. This is a unification. Funny, MMA fans also hate these crossovers. We all see it for the show that it is, not real fights. I highly doubt Usyk will fight Pineda. Dana hates that shit. He ain't going to let him cross over as long as he has a contract with the UFC. He probably does. And you know what? Dana White could pull a Fidel Castro with those guys. If those guys try to leave, you think they're going to, he might be a dick and say, you know what? You're still on contract with the UFC. You're not leaving to be a boxer. I want your ass here. Fulfill the fans in the UFC. But I think it's kind of stupid, because we all know that Conor McGregor brought those UFC people to boxing. That's why it was the highest grossing fight ever. I think it overgrossed Manny Maypac. I think it overgrossed Maypac. So it is what it is. Let's continue.
He did that nice stuff when you saw shoving him this morning at Wembley. Are you trying to get a little bit of an edge a bit early?
No, I'm always ready. Always. This is a fight at the end of the day. I want it to be a big fight, and I want the whole world to watch. Back at Wembley, and I want to be undisputed. First time in England, and do it in London, Wembley Stadium. So this is all massive for me. I can't wait.
After you were so nice to him after that fight, you surprised he's giving you a shove?
No. Why for me surprise? Uh, I to make like this. Listen, now it's like a show.
Yeah.
Don't worry, everything okay. I'm happy.
Well, they're talking about the shove, and that's the same thing I'm talking about. Before I start that, Tony Lyons, but you know Usyk will not fight these fighters, so get the videos ready, bro, to put Usyk in his place. Um, I don't want to make a bunch of videos just yet because if he ends up fighting him, then I'm gonna have to take those videos down, or people are gonna go back to those videos and say, "Well, damn, Kurt, you hating on Usyk now?" Something like that. I could if I was absolutely bored and with nothing else to do and no content to make. There's always content to make, but I hope he fights those guys. But I am skeptical. I am. Parker, get Cabello for Usyk, please. No more flabby Fury BS. So happy the ogre retired. Jax Man's in the building. Counterpunch to you. Capital 2 times. Facts. A few fighters wanted to cross over, but Dana wouldn't let them. And Gano only did because he left the UFC and got out of the contract. Well, good for him. And then, Francis Ngannou, I feel so bad for him because it's almost like tragedy didn't strike him until he started getting paid. If you notice, like he did the Tyson Fury fight, he made more than he's ever made in the UFC ever. You know what I'm saying? And then like he fights Joshua and gets twice as much. Then his son dies. Right? And then he's in talks to fight Wilder and then he kills a lady. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know, man. I look at things like, the energy of things based on what you're doing. That's why if I'm in a depressed state or in a mess, living in less, depressed, trying to pass another test. Shout out to Vic Menace. I don't like to really watch movies and stuff like that because they're templates of the time that I felt that way. I'd rather not do anything. Let's go for a walk. I don't want to watch a movie to template that time like I remember when that time, because I'll look back at that time and then look at that movie, and that movie will remind me of that time when you know what I mean? So I don't do those type of things. So it is what it is. Kurt, who you got Usyk versus Daniel Dubois rematch? I haven't decided yet. Lennox Lewis, the GOAT. Tony, what's happened for you to think that about Usyk and the fame going to his head? No. The undisputed shit is watered down so much now it means nothing. Well, we all know Alexander Usyk was the last undisputed champion. It was not Lennox Lewis anymore. It was Alexander Usyk. We've already got it. The best that we could say, or the best that we could do, argue about, would be defending the undisputed championship of the world. See, Usyk never really truly had an opportunity to do that because of the IBF. And the IBF, they're so anal and they're so, strict about their own rules and what they do in their sanctioning bodies, and knowing all those other belts were on the line. And one person had all the belts, and they don't take any of that in consideration. But Alexander Usyk did, I think, now looking at this right here, concoct a strategy for Danny Dubois to get that belt, to keep that belt. That's why he didn't want him to fight Parker. And Parker, in fact, is like, okay, Parker, he's like, okay, I don't want it to fight Parker. And he kind of just told us, like, I was a little afraid. What are you afraid of, Usyk? What are you afraid of? You're afraid of what exactly? Fighting Parker? Or Dubois losing to fight Parker? You see what I mean? Usyk does what he wants. Well, let's not have that Canelo Alvarez type mentality, shall we? I hope not. Are you kidding? You got undisputed in 2 decades. What's watered down? Good counterpunch, Stephen Strange in the building. If Fury has a tune-up fight, who should he fight? Zhilei Zhang. Zhilei Zhang. He could fight. Who else is out there? You know what? He could fight. What's my man? Jermaine Franklin. Jermaine Franklin's a good one. Kurt, any idea who Fury comeback opponents are? I don't know who Fury's comebacks are. Dion W. Member in the building. Counterpunch to you, brother. What up? Capital 2 times. Yeah, Francis has been through a lot, man. Bless his soul. Yeah, he has, bro. You know what I mean? And it's like and like it's you want the money, you want the success, you want the fame, which he had primarily, but he crossed over, got paid, and then this shit happened. So the world, life has a sick sense of humor, doesn't it? You know, Flabs should stick to shadow boxing. Then he can brag. Then he beat the shadow, and nobody will care to react. Usyk versus Parker needs to happen after the Dubois fight. I think that fight should happen now. Lewis, Lennox Lewis, Z Goat. What do you want him to fight? Who do you want him to fight? He's fought Chisora as a tune-up for 2 times. AJ 2 times. Fury now 2 times versus Triple D. How he's not fighting who he wants, I don't get it. And the winner of this fight will fight. I mean, I guess, and we hope. Parker. So Usyk isn't ducking anymore till he retires. By the looks of it. He's ducking any smoke. Okay. No, he's not. He's not ducking any smoke. And he doesn't have, I have a video to do about Parker. And Parker himself, that's what the video is going to be about. He doesn't really have anything. He doesn't have anybody. He's staying in shape. But, it's kind of difficult to focus when you don't have an opponent. You know what I mean? Hey, stay ready. You got to get ready. Getting ready for who? You can eat right, stay in shape, don't get fat, don't become Bacali or Zhang or Ruiz or any of these guys that just, Dillian White too, because he has a tendency to eat and get all fat and wild all outside, right? Fisher versus Allen, who wins? I'm going live for that fight, so I can't wait to see it. I hope Allen wins, but I think Fisher will bring the decision because he'll do better than he did last time. They're clearly trying to set up Fury versus Dubois if Daniel wins. I don't think so. I don't think Frank cares about that fight, honestly. Kurt, who wins? Jermaine Franklin versus Martin McCauley. Martin McCauley. Is McCauley versus Moses happening? No, it's not. That's just talk. The Undisputed has been watered down because Fury and Usyk was the first to make it since Lennox Lewis after nobody did it in so many years. So to get it again just ain't the same as the first one. Well, that makes sense, Tony Lyons. I do agree. I do agree on that. Boxing dead, MMA taking over. I ain't heard that shit. I heard MMA is actually getting, boring. That's what I heard. Just heard that. So it's all about perception, isn't it? Deep down, I'm pissed that Wilder or Fury don't fight AJ for Undisputed because I believed he could beat both of them, the first Undisputed since Lennox Lewis. Tony, you know what? At this point, you have to remember something very important in that situation. Maybe you are right. Maybe AJ would have beat Wilder. Maybe he would have beat Fury too. But the moral of that story is, the moral of that story for Anthony Joshua, it's more people to fight other than the people that people want you to fight. You know what I mean? That meant somebody could beat AJ. It just wasn't Wilder and it wasn't Fury. Despite what we wanted, despite the craves of that super fight, Wilder, AJ, Fury, AJ, all those fights, that is what it is. People I know that was big on UFC don't really watch it no more. Bro, I haven't heard and haven't been invited. Shout out to my boy Tim. Timbo in the building. Timbo Slice in the building. He hasn't invited me to a UFC fight in years. So I don't really think that's a thing like that. He used to bring us over for UFC fights. And I think we enjoyed them and they're cool. Wardley versus Honey. Who you got? Probably Wardley. I hope Wardley, because I really still wanted to see Jarrell Miller fight. But I agree with your prediction regarding the second fight. People I know that was big on UFC. Okay, got that. I get what you mean, bro. All right.
Are you glad that the Fury rivalry is over, or would you have liked to go again?
No, I'm not. I'm not happy because it's a great fighter. Maybe my friend Greedy Belly back with the ring. I think now Tyson Fury feel good with family, relax. No called, hey Tyson, maybe training. I know Tyson like relax with children, family. It's great.
There was always talk that you two would maybe meet up and hang out or barbecue in his house or your house and beer. I know it's tough to do anything in Ukraine. Have you spoke to Tyson at all?
I already know. Maybe after fight with Daniel, we speak. I'm very wanna to Tyson Fury come Ukraine. I watch my country, my city, like a Kiev and different city.
And Daniel, after that incredible knockout of Anthony Joshua, I really remember it. Your team jumped in, they were so happy. The main thing I watched you do was wait and try to check that he was okay. You didn't jump on the turnbuckles, you didn't scream and shout. That really showed a different side to you that I wasn't really ready for. Do you remember that feeling? And did you hold it in, or did you really just care that he was all right?
Yeah, I'm always like that. I want to win, and that's what my whole thing is about, winning. I don't care for too much of the theatrics, but winning and victory is what I really matters to me. So, yeah, to take these belts, that's what I want to do next. And of course, once the business is done, the fight is done, it's all respect. But first, we need to go to war.
And your view in eight?
Okay, so that was Daniel and his take on that. People, okay, here's the problem I've got with Daniel. I don't know, because none of us are perfect, okay? Because I suffer from dyslexia my damn self. I'll read something backwards or say something backwards or say this and meant to say that and shit like that, But it's like when the guy asked him, like, hey, we seen a different side to you. When you knocked out AJ, you were more worried about how he was versus jumping on the ropes. And he did say, I'm not all for theatrics and stuff, but I want to fight. I get the win. But it's crazy. It's like the interviewer set him up, people. You know what I mean? To get a good compliment. He set him up to respond in a way that he didn't. Like, yeah, I was worried about AJ because I don't want to hurt him at the end of the day. Winning's winning, but I wanted to see if he's okay because that's what type of person I am. That's what someone would say based on what that interviewer mentioned. If that makes sense to people. Theatrics a big word for Triple D. Kurt, remember this UFC will become extinct eventually. Mark my words. Okay. Usyk wants big money fight. That's why he wants trilogy with Fury. And let's talk about Alexander Usyk for a minute. Usyk mentioned, oh, well, maybe. First of all, why the hell are we talking about Tyson Fury anyway? Sure, that was his last fight. But at the same time, it's like the idea of fighting Fury now is disrespectful to Daniel. You see what I mean? It's disrespectful to Daniel. Why are you talking about this shit about a fight with Fury? I got a fight in front of me. This young, hungry, growing, primed, determined, confident, young champion, Daniel Dubois, WBA regular, IBF champion, two-time heavyweight champion, Daniel Dubois. Let's talk about him. Why the hell are we talking about Tyson Fury? Why are we talking about Tyson Fury right now? Tyson Fury ain't even unretired yet. People, he's not even unretired yet. He ain't even stepped back in the sport. Now, we know damn well he is, but he ain't even made an announcement yet. He's letting it marinate. He's giving us appetizers with his workouts and shit and hanging out with Sugar Hill Stewart, knowing damn well Sugar Hill Stewart don't go nowhere without him getting paid cash. Right? So that's what it's about. That's what it's about. So, yeah, Usyk wants that big money, but talking about that, I think it's disrespectful to Daniel Dubois. You know, Kurt, what country you in? USA. James Aboud. Usyk versus Dubois 2 prediction. Crawford versus Canelo. You and I agreed that Usyk would do it. I think it's possible, not likely Crawford could do it. Thoughts? We'll see. Um, I gotta look at Crawford. I didn't like Canelo Alvarez in his last fight. I didn't like the fact that he couldn't adjust, and it shows me that yeah, you and your style have not improved against people that move. Period. Like people call them runners, people that move, movers. He ain't improved since then. I'm sorry, he ain't improved to me. So there, you know. Bud will destroy Canelo. I can't wait for the shit to happen. And the date is moved. The date was 12th, which was a Friday. Now it's on the 13th. No big deal. September the 13th. Okay? Better September the 13th Saturday than September the 13th Friday. Friday the 13th. Let's continue.
Jake had any sort of messages?
Really, I bumped into him a while.
Did you?
At an event, a couple of events or something. But yeah,
Speaking of Danny Dubois and AJ for a second, first of all, I think that was pretty much, I think it's respect between them all. I think what it is, Danny Dubois is a lot younger than AJ. He knew what AJ did for British boxing. Everyone knows AJ's the fucking star. They know that. They know he's the star. They know he's the cash cow. You know what I mean? Just because Bivol beat Canelo, it didn't mean Canelo is not Canelo no more. You understand? So it's not what it... People look at that. People think that once a fighter, a cash cow, gets beat, it's finished. It's not. You know what I mean? Unless that fighter pulls a nosedive like career like Roy did. You know what I mean? Because like Roy just started getting knocked out, but then knocked out, and then knocked out. And it's like, well, damn, then the people that knocked him out fought each other. And it's crazy. Not that. But as long as, as long as Danny Dubois is Danny Dubois, AJ will be AJ. Danny Dubois has a win over AJ, which is his best win of his career. I'm happy for him. But at the same time, it doesn't replace him. Now, he could attempt to do that, but he's not. Why? Because he's not Anthony Joshua. That's why. That's just it. He's not AJ. He's Daniel Dubois. He's a quiet kid. He doesn't like to talk much. You know what I mean? He tries certain things. You know what I mean? But it's not there. Shakur versus Cepeda, who wins? I don't know. That's going to be a good fight, bro. I thought Canelo wanted the Bivol rematch. Yes, he does, and I got a video to talk about Micaiah. I'm glad that you mentioned that, because he is. This is Boxing Channel, bro. Yeah. I would like to see Frank Sanchez versus Derek Chisora. I think that will be a good fight, but I think, Frank is a little bit too fresh for Derek. Derek will fight him. Frank will box him. And, I think Frank has explosive power. Frank has good counterpunching ability. His punches are explosive. You know what I mean? His punches are very explosive. And he counters. Is Triple D on the spectrum or autistic? No, I just think he's quiet. I think Danny Dubois was guarded. I think he was guarded as a child. I think his father Stan pretty much did what Angel Garcia did to Danny Garcia, or what Teofimo Sr. did to Teofimo Jr. That's Daniel Dubois. Stan Dubois, with his dominance and overseeing, his oversight, the way he controlled and raised his son is exactly the same way. Danny Dubois wasn't that guy. I'd rather Bivol fight someone else, not that he won. I want to see Bivol fight David Benavidez, or better, Biev fight David Benavidez. Okay? So it is what it is. Triple G needs to go to Brazil to juice a little bit to win against Usyk. Uh-oh. Nah, I don't think he's going down there. He's not going down there now. My cat ate all my fentanyl. Rest in peace, my cat. Um, Here we go.
To get the belts off of him and, you know, carry on, become undisputed.
I've been punched in the stomach by sparring partners, and I've been kicked in the groin by ex-girlfriends.
Here we go.
When you got hit around that area, what did it feel like?
Це було боляче, it was pain.
The pain that makes you sick in the groin, or the pain that makes you gasp in the belly?
You know, like a punch, and like a seed, and like a up, down, up,
Yeah,
down.
but it was a body shot. It was a body shot.
Okay, bro.
That was clear.
It was in the past. Okay, body shot. Body shot,
Yeah,
bro. What is body
body
shot?
shot, man.
Like a body shot.
I'll show
Body
you
shot.
again.
Body shot. It's like this. It's not this.
That wasn't there. You didn't go like that.
Listen, my friend.
I think one thing
What's
that's
going on? This body shot.
Uh-oh.
This body shot.
Here we
It's
go.
not- it's not only one punch. It's not only one. You punch every time. I don't know who you talk to. Punch like both and Usyk. Listen, you boxer. You're not fighter MMA. You boxer, Daniel, world champion. Hey, guy,
Come on.
smile.
Come on.
And the
Come
point is,
on.
that groin protector,
Huh?
like the groin protector,
Huh?
if you push that and hit that, it all moves. So you don't have to punch right on it
Yeah.
to pressure it.
Yeah, bro. Now it's like a story.
Yeah.
It was in the past.
Yeah.
We have now new fight. We have today, present,
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Future, I don't know. In the past, today.
How much of a more dangerous fighter do you think he is?
Okay, let's stop there. Let me counterpunch both. First of all, he did not hit Alexander Usyk in the ball sack. He did not. He hit him below the belt. Okay. And I think if you're going to tell it the way it happened. He hit him. Yes, it was a low blow. It was south. It was south of the cup. He was throwing an uppercut, so a portion of it landed on the cup. The rest of that punch landed below the belt line. So some of it landed on the belt line. But since it's a punch that's coming upward from underneath, it landed some parts first. That's what happened. Okay. Daniel's saying, well, you didn't do this. He didn't do that because he didn't get hit in the shaft, nor the, you know what I mean? I wouldn't want, I hope he's, I don't know what his anatomy's like, but I don't think it was up there. You know what I mean? He hit the bottom of that protector. Okay. And that is true. When you get hit with that shot, it hurts, bro. It still hurts because you're still getting punched in an area that you do not supposed to get punched in. Okay. And you don't have to punch someone right on the shaft, root, or stem for it to hurt. And here's the mic dropper. The mic dropper is simple. What and when did you hear anything about a referee? He had nothing about the referee call. It wasn't Usyk that called, that made a decision. I was hit low and the ref went with it. No, dickhead. The referee ruled it a low blow from jump. So why aren't we talking about that? You know, we talk about this, that, the other. Why aren't we talking about the obvious? I think the referee made a bad call. It was the referee's call. Why are they attacking Usyk? And then here's my thing. If I'm Team Usyk, why am I arguing with something that the referee already done? I'm not arguing with somebody else that's arguing with me when they shouldn't be arguing with me. They should be arguing with the ref. That just shows, you're arguing with them. That's just giving them power because you're making that a thing. You're making that a thing. You're actually making this legitimate by arguing with these fucking people instead of arguing with the referee that ruled it the certain way. It's stupid. It makes no sense. Makes no sense at all. Or when did you hear that Triple D quit later on? Yeah, something like, didn't you quit later? Now, and it's like, And I know probably Usyk is the language barrier, you know what I mean? And maybe I don't even know if he would say that anyway. Maybe, maybe not. But maybe you know what I think Vasily Lomachenko did? Well, you quit. Didn't you quit? You quit in ninth round. You get on your knee and you quit. You let yourself get counted out. I get you from jab. Jab is hard, but it's not that hard. You know. You know. So true. The ref called it like so. If the ref called it straight away, that's what it is. That's what happened. So why are we even worried about any of this shit? Why are you worried about something that the ref ruled? Like it's just stupid, bro. And I'm really ashamed. I see what Dubois and them are doing. They're only doing what you let them do. If you sit there and argue with somebody about something that you know that's right, maybe you're wrong because you shouldn't be arguing with them at all. That shouldn't even be the thing to do. He said the punch was low. Why they don't blame Dubois when he quit? See, that's the thing. But they argue because that happened before. That was fifth round. So technically, he should have been. It wasn't a legal blow. They're doing exactly what Wilder did in the first Fury fight. Well, maybe if the ref would have waved it off, it would have been a win for Wilder. You see what I'm saying? That's that kind of petty bullshit, very desperate type argument that people keep up because people are not too fucking smart, are they? That's what happens. They're not too smart. Or you're biased. And what you want to do is you want to, hey, you know what? Let me make this right because I want to support this person. That's why I don't like politics at all. That's why I don't like politics. People ask me to talk about politics. I don't like politics at all because I know what people do. People don't care how the country's being ran, really. Some people do. Some people don't. People just want to support who they feel should be where. And regardless of whatever they do, the people that they appoint, okay, that's who they're going with. They don't give a shit if they deport the whole half the country. He's still going to do right. Oh no, Obama did the right thing. He did. Oh, Trump did the right thing. Oh, did he really? Or was it just because you voted for him? Why am I saying that? I'm saying that to say this. Whoever you support, you're going to find a reason to support them and make whatever they say and do right. That's the problem with bias. Okay? Kurt, do you miss HBO boxing? Bro, like a fucking passion. I miss Jim Lampley. Fuck Larry Merchant. But Jim Lampley, George Foreman, Emmanuel Stewart, Roy Jones, Max Kellerman. I miss HBO boxing. Yes, I miss HBO boxing. I miss it. I've seen some of the classic, most historic fights that they ever had on HBO. Showtime was okay. But you know what? HBO was more like Nike. Showtime was more like Reebok to me. Showtime was Blockbuster Video. I mean, HBO was Blockbuster Video. Showtime was Hollywood Video. If you guys follow what I'm saying. So, some of these interview people take advantage of the language barrier with Usyk and try to get him to say what they want, or at least try to get him go the way they want him to go, if it makes sense. Yeah. I mean, they're trying to see what he'll say based on what he may not understand. So I get that. John Fury called Team Dubois a bunch of amateurs for not storming after the ring after the low blow. Well, I mean, John Fury, he headbutted a Ukrainian. So yeah, he's going to have that mentality anyway. That's some silly shit that he would do. Some silly traveler shit that he does. Some old violent, senseless bullshit that may cost a disqualification. Yeah, that sounds like Big John Fury. I'm talking about Big John at 11 a.m., by the way. So you guys know. John Fury, boy. Let's continue.
Because of the 3 wins since then.
It's hard opponent. Mm-hmm. Very hard.
Yeah.
When I go to my training camp and my prepare and the focus for my prepare and my opponent. I'm not saying, hey, listen, I win one time, I win second. Yeah, I win second time, but for me, it's serious. It's serious guy, it's a world champion, it's a big guy. Win with him, Anthony Joshua. For me, just my serious opponent.
Your fathers both play a massive role in your stories. Alex, you've given us really emotional interviews about losing your dad, and I won't press you on that again. But I was interested that after the last Fury one, you spoke about your mum. She saw him being rough and insulting you. And we've never heard you talk about her much. How does she feel that her son, the undisputed heavyweight world champion of the world, and all you've achieved since losing dad? She must be so proud.
My mom said, hey, Alex, please be careful in punching, be careful in training, and you must have big protector. Okay, no problem.
And do you reckon?
Look at Daniel, don't like that shit. You guys. Man, look at. Oh, I don't know if you guys can see. I don't know. No, you can't see. But Daniel, bro, Daniel looked like Daniel got his hands clenched. You know, yeah, he's pissed off. He didn't like that protector joke. Any news about Michael Hunter? I reached out to Michael. He read the message, but I haven't heard him reply yet. So probably not. You know, like they fuck over Michael Hunter, man, and it just goes to show you if we don't see anything from Michael Hunter serious this year, it's safe to say that Michael fucked up a long time ago. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of times, it's certain situations, certain business decisions you make in boxing can cost you a lot. Could cost you a lot. And can HBO boxing come back? No, can't come back. HBO boxing, you would think over all the venues, all the money, all the fight cards, all that shit, you would think that they would be the last to go. Again, I say the same thing about HBO I said about Blockbuster Video. Man, you guys know if when you were there. If you guys are at least 35 years of age, you would remember, maybe not 35, at least 40. 35 to 40. You're going to remember Blockbuster Video. That shit was so big. No, I don't. Tony Lyons, no, I don't. But Michael Hunter is with Don King Promotions. Yeah, Don King, bro. Again, Don King, another tyrant, another huge promoter at the time in the 90s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s. Don King was the fucking man. All in America, baby. He was the man. Now he is not. He is not. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. But Michael Hunter is with Don King. Don King. Don who? That's who you say now. Because, I mean, Don King hasn't done anything serious in years. I mean, he was a promoter of Trevor Bryant, right? Blockbuster was dope. Used to go there and rent the films and popcorn and drink, etc. But look, here's the thing, man. Let me tell you something about back in them days. Nostalgia. Great. Tell you something about Blockbuster, man. We used to go to Blockbuster. Me and my dad, my brother. You go on a date to Blockbuster. It was a one-stop shop. You just go to Blockbuster. You pick a movie. She pick a movie. Right? You both got 2 movies. Okay. You can get 2 more. You can get up to 4 bars. Then you get your popcorn. Then you got the Coca-Cola. And all you got to do, for me, go get you some pizza. I've already ordered that before I walked into Blockbuster. Boom. Mr. Gaddy's 318-549-2222. Mr. Gaddy's in the building. And Mr. Gaddy's was beautiful and true. Bars. Skrilla 50 in the building. What's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. I'm just talking about some nostalgia from Blockbuster Video to Mr. Gaddy's Pizza and back to the house. That was your date. You got the movies. You got the pizza. You got the popcorn. You got the Coca-Cola. You got all that stuff right then. And you damn near got it all at one place. Blockbuster Video. Good memories, bro. But guess what? Where the hell is Blockbuster Video now? Same thing as Don King. Where the hell is he now? On a milk carton. You know, Google. Blockbuster was my game rental spot. Absolutely. Netflix and chill was way easier. That's what killed their ass. Blockbuster didn't know how to circumvent. They didn't know how to adjust. They didn't know how to adapt. So they crumbled. Yeah. See, like this YouTube thing. Hey, you got to do more shorts. That's why I'm doing shorts now. I hate shorts. I can't stand those shorts. People's fucking attention spans are real small. People don't pay attention to shit. Tell me everything you got to say in 60 seconds. A person like me that likes to talk, shit, what can I say in 60 seconds? You know, I'm like Bill Cosby. I like to tell you a story. I would like to see there. Yeah, once upon a time, there's 60 seconds. See what I mean? Like, it's crazy. Anyone remembers Errol's? You mean Errol Spence? I remember Blockbuster Hollywood Video, HBO Boxing, and Tuesday Night Boxing on USA. I'm 40. I remember all that. Jay Watts in the building. Counterpunch to you. Remember 60 Seconds News? Nope. Sean O'Reilly video. Okay, let's go.
Recognize how Daniel and his dad, I've been at fights where his dad's at the alcohol, he ran away because it was getting tough, but then I've also been at ones where they look at each other and he goes up. You must recognize that relationship that's really powerful for him.
I think it's a great relationship. I think, I don't know.
When I spoke to Lennox Lewis around your fight with AJ and I asked about the relationship, and he said when it's going well, and it is going well, it's a superpower because, listen, it's two men in the ring and 90,000 means nothing. But I watched that a second before you hit AJ with the first real fight changer. Yeah. You look back at your dad, we all saw it, me and the boys, and it was incredible, Dan. Is he a bit like a superpower?
Yeah, I would say so, but yeah, to have him behind, got my back, and someone that's known me from all my life, even so, yeah, definitely helped me getting through it and supporting me until this day. My journey and my story is well known, but yeah, it's a real superpower.
With everything you've achieved, Alex, and I very much understand that when the invasion started, you went to the front line and you went with soldiers and you wanted to give up boxing and help. And they said, no, go and tell our story, go and tell the world. You've done that. You've also become the king of the heavyweight division. Have you been able to properly celebrate with your people, or is life there still too tough to do that?
No.
No, not a funny question.
No. Because when I back after my fight home, I work. What I do, I help just single people, Ukrainian soldier. It's my святкування. Celebration. My celebration is my family, it's my team, my friends. It's just dinner, go to sauna, eating. It's just celebration.
I went and met Derek Chisora at a Ukrainian sauna, the Banya.
Yeah.
And he told me a crazy story. He said, you two were on the phone.
Yeah.
And he heard missiles over. And Derek said to me afterwards, how are we supposed to beat this guy? When we hear our car alarm outside in London, we panic. This guy is sitting at home hearing missiles.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
Dan, I know it's just a fight and you will take it as that, but listen, what this man's going through outside the ring, do you think it makes him even harder to beat?
Well, he's like a hero to his people, isn't he?
Yeah, really
is. That's commendable. I commend him for that. But in the ring, I need to be the king, and take the belts and be the man. So, whatever it takes, go for him, and just take what's mine. Those belts, undisputed. Daniel Dubois.
And let me stop right there. I actually like that about Daniel. You see how Daniel's like, that's commendable, but I gotta be the king. I gotta go in and I gotta take it to him. I gotta put him in his place. Daniel Dubois. That's the mindset you want to have. See, a lot of people ask, well, is he autistic? I think Daniel Dubois is mostly one tracked. His mind is focused on one damn thing. Win. You know, Usyk never went on the front line. I don't think he did. But I mean, did Joe Louis? Was Muhammad Ali really going to go on the front line of Vietnam? I mean, you never know in Vietnam. Vietnam was a whole different thing. But, he was fighting for his country. But you heard it, though, right? They told him not to. Hey, no, we need you in the ring. We need you as a representative for our country. You're the best at what you do. So let us fight Russia and let you fight everybody else representing us. I'm not saying he didn't as a diss, though. Does he have the right mindset, but he can't do it without his dad? Yeah, he praised his dad, too. He praised his dad. He didn't praise Don. Now, he mentioned Don one time, I think. I remember him saying Don Charles. But other than that, it's all about Stan the Man. Stan the Man! This interviewer is very easy peasy for Parker. Dillian White wants Philip Hrgovic. Who you got, Kurt? I don't know. That's a good fight. That's a very good fight. Hrgovic beat Joe Joyce. He was a replacement. I don't see why not, because Dillian was going to fight Hrgovic, right? Dillian got hurt, so now Dillian's better. Hrgovic beat Joyce. He wanted to fight Joyce, so he should fight the winner, right? So I have no problem with that. Big up Dillian White. Why not? I think it'll be a pretty good fight. You know what I mean? We'll see. We'll see what happens in that fight. That'll be a good fight, though. I just want Dillian to fight someone with a pulse, someone that's in the mix. Hrgovic is still in the mix. He got beat by Dubois last year. So what? First loss he ever had. So what? Okay. But if Dillian can get that fight, yes, let's see that fight happen. If he can beat Hrgovic, he's right back where he should be. So I hope Dillian White gets that fight. I hope it happens. I hope it could get made. Because, I want to see that fight. Definitely. Why not?
This is a fight and a show in this country that both of your teams are just, Jesus.
Don't worry. Take it easy, man.
I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you, man.
It says, take it easy. Because he looked at Daniel. Daniel looked like he wanted to rip his face off. Kurt, who wins? Daniel Dubois versus Frank Sanchez. Man, that's a good fight. I think Daniel will, though. I think Daniel has better pressure.
Okay. I like you.
Yeah.
Fellas, the shows in Saudi Arabia, I know we're all grateful for them making the fights and paying the money, but they make you do a lot of jobs, extra stuff, auctions, dinners, meetings. Do you think this one, where just your teams are in charge, we will see the absolute best of you?
I hope so.
Alex, would it be good to be back in control and your team running your side of the fight?
No. I just work, not only boxing, not sport. Listen, when I feel for me it's hard, I say, I go to rest.
Dan, everyone talks about how mercurial he is, how difficult, how do you prepare for him? There's probably only Moses Atama who you could get in for sparring.
Yeah.
But you've done good rounds with him.
Who?
He's so hard to work out, this man here.
Oh, yeah.
So do you feel like you'll be so much better for this one than even you were in the first when you gave it a great go?
I think so, I think so. Maybe all my cornermen, my team will just jump him in the ring. That might work.
Have you seen his team?
We'll just jump him. We won't even bother with that fight. We're just jumping everyone.
It's great that you two guys are getting on like this. I get there's animosity and there's stare-offs. Are you mentally tougher, even more so after all the stuff with Tyson? He tried so much stuff and it didn't work.
Maybe, I don't know.
Dan, how much tougher do you think you are psychologically, having walked into Wembley, which was supposed to be AJ's home, and dethroning the king like that?
You know, well, yeah, of course I'm tough. I've, you know, gone through that, been through, you know, tough and battle hardened in fight, so I'm well and truly prepared now. You know, totally different. You guys are gonna see anyway, so yeah.
Do you think there is, we've seen every boxer that he's come up against, especially the British guys, try to get into his head somehow? Do you think there is any way, or have you just got to beat him as a boxer in the ring?
Yeah, I've got to punch him, break through, you know. You don't need to try and get into his head. A knockout will do it for me, so. And if, you know, I'm not gonna make this anything more than it is. I'm ready to fight. I can't wait.
Alex, do you think psychologically, like Chisora said, you can't be cracked?
It's true. Yeah. You wanna say, hey, I clean, I punch clean, blah 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 blah. I win, we win. Okay. I wait my time. Like a ding dogs.
Some people in boxing will tell you that all the build-up and all the mind games are rubbish, and others will tell you that 80% is in the head and 1 before. For someone that we all talk about your brain, how do you feel?
It's the same, because if you have this and not condition, it's bad. If you condition good like this problem, it's too bad. It's like a same 50-50. But condition, you must hard condition your training, prepare, and mental.
And we always want boxers to get out when they're safe and when they've achieved everything. You've got a lovely family at home, you've got lots of other things to worry about. Why have you come back? Why are you still cracking away? Why are you still risking getting hurt?
Because life is move. Life is move. Life is life. Because I feel I wanna. Boxing is like a drug. Sport, big sport is like a drug. I'm boxing narcoman. You know what is narcoman?
Oh, I do.
Yeah, that's boxing. I love boxing. I wanna boxing. I feel I can. Two fight.
Then I can't talk about people's haircuts looking like this, but I look over there and I see silver in Alexander's hair.
Oh yeah.
He's getting old.
Silver like this?
Yeah.
Is a power.
Well, you say power.
Yeah.
But in boxing, you can be old overnight.
Yeah.
Do you think maybe we're looking at a silver-haired
Yeah.
pensioner?
It's not possible.
Definitely.
It's not possible.
No.
It's not possible. When I was young, one horse punched me, bam, like this.
Punched you.
0 fight, 0 win, 1 knockout.
Yeah.
You know, like I open my eyes and say, I live. Yeah, Alex, oh my God, you live, oh. Okay, put me, stand in the house card, like I put and go my home. Like a little bit problem.
Yeah.
My hands like a problem, like a break, like a blood.
A horse kicked your head in.
1 month, I'm back, and I go, who? This horse? Yeah, like a dozen. I don't know, maybe 10 kilometers, like no problem.
Yeah. How old was you?
12.
Jesus. Dan, have you ever been attacked by a farm-out animal?
Have you?
No.
No.
What have you been?
Don't get too many on the dirt.
Look, Daniel, let me tell you something about Daniel, though. Daniel's not slow. It's just Daniel's. You see, he like, you ever been kicked? You ever been kicked by a horse? I was like, have you? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, he ain't stupid. He's not stupid. Passive, quiet, sheltered, sure. Slow? Nah, he's not slow at all. Slow at all. Triple D is now the second best heavyweight in British history. Paul versus Chavez Jr. Who do you got? No. I have no idea. But, you know, he said he got hit here. right? I don't know. He said blood. I don't know if it had a cracked skull, maybe. Dude, I've always been nervous around horses. I did a stunt one time with a couple horses, and I was just like, because you don't want them to kick back at you, bro. They could break every fucking bone in your face if they hit you. Facts. When Triple D said that quickly, it did make me laugh. You know what I'm saying? Like, have you? You know, he's like, yeah, dude. Like, the hell are you talking about? We don't have many farm animals where I'm from. You know what I mean? That's just logical. Meaning, if it's logical, he can't be, you know, stupid. You know what I mean? Triple D has a drool cup outside of the ring. What's the perfect weight for Bakali? I think 270. Maybe 270, 275 depends. Because you want some of it. You want some of that big. You don't want to get like Andy Ruiz did. And that motherfucker lost. He went like down to like 240. And then he couldn't even take a punch. Remember the Chris Arreola fight? Yeah. That happened to Andy. He lost all his fat power. Because he lost too much fat because his body hadn't adapted to the weight. See, you can lose a lot of weight, but you don't naturally get your fluids back. That has to come with time if you maintain that weight. See, when you drop weight, you got to be careful not to put the weight back on because your body's already conditioned. So if you're 250 pounds and you want to be 220, yeah, you can get to 220 if you lose the weight. But if you do the same thing it took to get the weight back on, you're going to gain the weight. But at 220 pounds, if you lose it, you're not going to punch as hard as you was at 250. Because at 250, if you was that way for 5-6 years or longer, you're not going to have the same power range at 220. You're going to be lighter, but you probably won't hit as faster. You'll probably be quicker, so it may appear like you're hitting harder. But I guarantee you that 250 pounds, especially if you're muscle, you know what I mean? Because I'm a pretty... what did my daughter call me? What'd she say? Buffy dude? No. Husky dude? No, she said something like that. Usyk, Parker, Chisora, Fury, Joyce, and Fabio. I've been around horses all my life, and that wouldn't have been a clean kick from the horse, or it didn't have shoes on, especially 12, it would have killed you. That's why Eubank versus Ben is a dangerous fight.
Well, yeah, again, that just sort of adds a little bit more to your mystery. I wonder what you'll tell us next, Alex, to be honest.
Next, I think it's a lunch. Rice, duck, sparkling water, vegetable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dan, what are you having?
I'll eat a couple people.
Fellas, thank you so much. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for your time always. And thank you for making another great fight and keeping us entertained.
Thank you.
That Daniel said, a couple people. You big goofy ass. Well, that concludes the show of No Gloves Off. Triple D should get Caroline to speak for him. Yeah, could probably help better. He's not a good spokesman, but he's a good fighter, so I think that's important. What could you really grasp from this? Not a lot. They argued a little bit about the low blow, which will always be a contentious argument. It is what it is. I was going to watch it just by myself, but I decided to tune in. So, I'm glad you guys did show up. The small crowd, the Counterpunch Boxing News crowd in the building. Thank you guys, but I'll see you again at 11. I have other videos to drop right now, actually, so give me about an hour. I will have those dropping one after the other, and I'll see you guys at 11 a.m. Well, actually 11:10. So set your calendar, your dates, hit the bell icon to get notified because we're coming in live at 11:10 this morning. See you then. Until then, everyone has been counterpunched. Peace!